As we in 2026 come off celebrating the 250th birthday of America, we time travel back 28 years ago to 1998. It is Fully Loaded. Mike, this is still technically Fully Loaded in your house in 1998, but this is the 23rd rendition of In Your House. All of the garb about it. This is strictly just branded as Fully Loaded, and everything in the building. We have not seen an In Your House ring apron in over 8 months, and I'm still surprised that the WWF at this time in 1998 was still ushering in the In Your House moniker. Were you surprised that this is still going on at this time?
Yeah, it didn't really seem necessary because I feel like the names that they've been creating are strong enough, and because I mean, honestly, a lot of them that they had were that they've just come up with have went on to stick around for a decade or more, like
Absolutely.
Unforgiven or whatnot. But I don't know. Maybe it's just old habits die hard, and they keep saying In Your House because pay-per-view. Maybe I don't know.
Well, the other interesting thing is this is also coming off the heels of Bash at the Beach '98, which we talked about on the last episode of Raw's. Been getting a ton of negative response. It was the Carl Malone, Dennis Rodman pay per view, but this pay per view specifically, Fully Loaded, only does 305,000 pay per view buys. Now, listen, that's a ton. This is up almost double from last July's pay per view purchases, and so the federation's doing just fine. But that pay per view for Bash at the Beach '98 did 580,000 buys. So if you're wondering how much the casual fan being out of the equation matters, there's your answer.
Yes.
But the other thing that this pay per view had a ton of, and we're live in Fresno, California tonight, was a bunch of unhyped, unpromoted matches. And we're gonna get each match individually. We're gonna run down the card really quick because tonight is Val Venus versus Jeff Jarrett. Starts the action off once we actually get into the wrestling matches. D'Lo Brown versus X-Pac in a non-title European Championship match. Farouk and Too Cold Scorpio taking on Bradshaw and Terry Funk. Okay. Mark Henry and Vader, they finally get the square off that we've been waiting for a couple of months. It's not great. And then the LOD versus the DOA. Okay. Owen Hart versus Ken Shamrock in in a Dungeons match. And then the 2 out of 3 falls between The Rock and Triple H, Jacqueline and Sable in a bikini contest, and Stone Cold Steve Austin as in the Undertaker taking on Mankind and Kane for the tag team championships. That's the rundown of the night. But Mike, before we even start the pay-per-view off properly, Jerry Lawler is in Sable's locker room getting a sneak peek of what she's wearing in tonight's bikini contest. And they clearly know where their bread is being buttered.
Yes. And like it's just that's why I was kind of laughing because it's like, oh, okay, just kicking off the pay-per-view with horny Jerry Lawler. Awesome. And I was like, kind and especially when we get into the bikini contest, it's like, and what segment's coming tomorrow with Kai and Tai and Val Venus. This is full on into the Attitude Era. Like there's no more tiptoeing around.
Well, you mentioned it. Like we're full into horny Jerry Lawler. The
Yeah.
bikini contest is the semi-main event tonight.
Yep. And we get a kickoff with it.
Yeah, and I thought that, like, listen, obviously this isn't a Big Four pay-per-view, and we're going to do a live rewatch of SummerSlam on the Highway to Hell, and that fully kicks off on the next episode of Raw. But I thought it was really interesting. They're in the middle of this ratings war, and we just had the Goldberg versus Hulk Hogan in the Georgia Dome moment on Nitro.
Right.
They don't have Stone Cold Steve Austin in a singles in this on this pay-per-view, and I thought that was a really interesting decision.
Yeah, I don't know. This is definitely a filler pay-per-view. It's, as we kind of talked about, like an extended episode of Raw. I don't know. They even have like at least 2 in-ring promos in a pay-per-view. So it's, I don't know.
They did in the last one too, though. They had it at the King of the Ring also, and it just felt weird.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like, save that stuff for Raw. This is kind of like the stuff we're waiting for, like payoffs and whatnot. I mean, granted, half the matches tonight we weren't even announced. So I mean, what are we doing here?
And I will say this, like when this match kicks off, because we mentioned it's Val Venus and Jeff Jarrett to open up this pay-per-view, I kind of tilted my head sideways and said, really?
Yeah.
But then I thought about it, and listen, these guys stole the show almost. This match was absolutely fantastic. I just didn't like the pomp and circumstance that went along with it. I mean, Val Venus came out and did his retired porn star gimmick and shtick, and that's fine. But and then we can hear Tennessee Lee audibly asking, "Are we ready?" You can hear him over the microphone, over the hot mic. Are we ready? Are we ready? Oh, well, hold on 1 second there, young fella, because Val Venus says, "California, here I come," and insinuates He's gonna whip his dick out right on live pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's I can't believe I glazed over that earlier. But yeah, it's like wow, we're just
He was trying to glaze over California, so it's understandable.
Fresno.
Yeah. But thank goodness Tennessee Lee puts a stop to that. And man, I know I've said this every week where we've done this rewatch since Tennessee Lee has been here. I do not remember him being around this long.
No,
like, I would have bet you $1 million he was here for 2 or 3 weeks. He's going into 6 months with the company.
I'm trying to predict his exit. Like
it's got to be soon.
It's got to be when Jeff goes short hair and he has to like smash him with a guitar or something.
Yeah, I think it's shortly before. I think it's in the next couple weeks because that happens at SummerSlam. Spoiler alert. But Southern Justice is still with him here, and this is a big nothing burger as well. The Southern Justice, formerly the Godwins, get sent to the back here, but Tennessee Lee is allowed to stay at ringside. And Jim Ross, the constant professional, tells us it's because he has a license to be a manager, so that's why he's allowed to stay at ringside. But then Kai and Tai comes out, and if you know, you know. Mike, you alluded to it a minute ago, but they kick the wrestling contingency of Kai and Tai out, but Yamaguchi-san is allowed to stay at ringside and be on commentary. And I don't know why his reign in WWE was so short, because this man is a national treasure of America and Japan. It is absolutely hilarious on commentary here. Yes. But he joins the commentary desk. Tennessee Lee is going to stick ringside with Jeff Jarrett here as he takes on Val Venis. And I mentioned it, man, like we've kind of given some flowers to a couple guys, Farouk being one of them. We're going to get to him later in this show. But man, Val Venis and Jeff Jarrett absolutely just give to each other here in this match, and both ended up looking like $1 million in this thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a sleeper hit, and honestly, I just don't remember Val being as smooth as he was. Like, and
that DDT he took was smooth as probably his balls have to be a porn star.
Thank you.
Yeah, I seen where you were going there.
There you go. I was gonna say I really hate giving any kind of verbs to him because it just feels weird. But yes,
well, give him an adjective like play. Listen, I mean, that stun gun that Jeff Jarrett gives to him at the beginning of the match that hangs him up looks fantastic. I just mentioned it. There's that moment where he DDTs Jeff Jarrett DDTs Val Venis, and he almost sells it like RVD, where he plants his head, does a headstand essentially to sell the move, and then Val gets sent onto the outside. And I don't know if scary is the right moment, but I mean, you could see here where Tennessee Lee just goes to kick Val Venis, and Val isn't expecting it. And he kicks Val right in the side of the head and opens up his cheek. And Val Venis is essentially bleeding for the majority of this match from that side of his cheek for that reason. Not quite the meat and potatoes of the night, but definitely a pretty solid potato of its own right.
Yeah, we got a couple candidates tonight, but yeah, that was definitely one of them. And I'm thinking that's why we wear wrestling shoes a lot of the
time. Well, Val gets thrown back in the ring and put in a sleeper hold, and Jerry Lawler tells Yamaguchi-san on commentary, Val doesn't sleep too often or very much these days. Your wife told me so. And Yamaguchi-san just laughs and thought it was funny because he clearly doesn't speak the language. Like him just laughing at stuff for no reason was probably the highlight of this entire match, which was a very good match. But Val gets rolled back into the ring and gets put in a sleeper hold and gets a jaw jack to let it go, and gets up for the money shot, which is his finishing move for anybody that's just joining us and watching this for the first time. But Tennessee Lee crotches him on the top rope, and Jeff Jarrett hits a superplex. And I thought that was going to be the end of the match. And I thought it would have been a good enough spot. What did you think of this kind of a false finish?
It was really nice, especially with the two guys you have in there. The timing was really good, and yeah, I feel like the crowd was coming alive actually for this match, so it looked like it was going to be it.
Yeah, Val kicks out, and then gets up. Tennessee Lee gets up on the apron, and Val Venis runs Jeff Jarrett into Tennessee Lee, rolls the schoolboy up, and gets the win here. Honestly, I would have preferred the superplex finish more than this, but what this does, this still allows Val Venis to still be undefeated in the WWF.
Yes, and I mean, that's a hard bargain to pass up. But seriously, it's I don't remember him really getting this much attention. I always just thought he was like a really lower card, but like he's getting the new star treatment.
Yeah, and listen, he's being showcased too, because even though he's in a feud with Kai and Tai, they're making it count. And Yamaguchi-san says, tune in. He actually says turn into Raw, but he meant tune into Raw tomorrow, because Val Venis will never be the same again. And it is a very interesting episode of Raw, to say the least.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking forward to reviewing that with you, but just for like the purposes of laughing with you. But yeah, it's gonna be a strange one. I did kind of crack up a little bit when Val went to talk to Yamaguchi-san, and he's like, "Please stand up." Oh, you're already standing up. Like I did,
and he says that he'll never measure up, according to his wife. Yeah. Which is funny because the guy doesn't speak English, so it didn't even matter. But
fair enough.
Like we're kind of getting a sneak peek of who the workhorses over the next couple of years are going to be. We just talked about Jeff Jarrett and Val Venis, two guys that are kind of intertwined with their careers in the WWF through this time period are up next. And it's X-Pac and D'Lo Brown. Now, if you're just joining us, D'Lo Brown has just won the European Championship on the previous episode of Raw with the help of The Rock. He rock bottom Triple H, and D'Lo hit the frog splash and got the win. He's taking on X-Pac here in a non-title match, and I always hate non-title matches because sometimes, most of the time, it gives away a little bit of what is going to happen here, but it just cheapens the match for me.
Right. I mean, and for this one, it didn't really matter because
at all.
That's one thing I really hate is when it's a non-title and there's no stipulation and the title doesn't change hands. It's like, why was it a non-title? Like,
wouldn't you want to being a non-title match?
Wouldn't you want to just like add that to the champ's resume as like, oh, I successfully defended it against so and so? But I digress. This was a pretty good match between two very hungry young men.
No, I thought it was great. I'll give it great too. I thought it was fantastic because a couple of reasons. It really feels like D'Lo Brown at this time was kind of coming into his own. I mean, you can just see it when he comes out here with the Godfather. He's got a little bit more of a pep in his step. He doesn't quite have the bobble to his head yet. It's starting to kind of get there. But like Sean Waltman always walked to the ring like he had a death wish.
Yeah.
Like, I know we kind of phrased that way with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14. But like X-Pac wrestled like he didn't have a care in the world every time he went out there.
I wonder if it's like because his size, like it's even smaller than Shawn Michaels. It's just like you always got to fight for basically your relevancy as hard as you can, and he just always seems like he's ready to die out there for it, and it proves. I mean, they did way more than it, but it felt like the battle of the spin kicks out there.
Yeah, and that was the one gripe I had with this match because like instead of selling X-Pac as this up and comer can chase for the European Championship is championship material. One of our workhorses in the ring. Like he missed 2 standing Bronco Busters, which by the way, spoiler alert, never in his career does he hit. But he also every time he got any kind of offense, the only way D'Lo built a comeback was because X-Pac missed a move. Yeah. And that could be because D'Lo is still green. It could be just lack of chemistry between these two because it gets so much better. I mean, listen, it's good here. Yeah. I just didn't like the way this match was built up, even though it was still a pretty good match.
Yeah, and it was fine, and they didn't get a whole lot of time. And I don't think we've really touched on it, or maybe we have, but they crammed the first half of the show into the first hour. So
absolutely,
I mean, and with the crowd not being invested into some of these matches, not necessarily this one, but it just feels like there's a lot of I don't know. Miscommunication out there between the first few of these matches where it kind of looks like that way.
Well, one in particular, we're gonna get to that one here in a little bit.
Yes.
But the thing I did like about this was like they kind of try to sell it like D'Lo was too fast for X-Pac, which is fine, but he ended up just looking like an idiot until the end because at the end the Godfather gets up on the apron and X-Pac is smart enough to knock him off of the apron, but he turns right into a sky high, and D'Lo picks up the win. As we just mentioned, it kind of defeated the purpose of it not being a championship title defense. But the other thing is, like, do you use that as cannon fodder as for a number 1 contendership? Because that kind of also negates X-Pac's chances of getting a rematch, right?
I mean, that's what you would think. I mean, I know there was chicanery afoot with the Godfather, but the ref didn't see it. However, that sky high was a thing of beauty.
Amazing, yeah.
Yes, like between that and the lowdown, it's like I forgot how great his finishing and signature moveset was.
We then pan back to the .com center, and I don't ever remember it being called that, but that's what it's called. Not even WWE.com, just the .com center, to where Tom Pritchard and Kevin Kelly are sitting, and Tom Pritchard is wearing the ugliest shirt next to Mike Sweeney's WrestleMania 32 sweater that I've ever seen. But we find out that the Undertaker has not yet appeared and is not been told when he's going to be arriving to the building, despite being in the main event tonight. Now, this is a running theme throughout the entire show. let me tell you why I hate this and I think this is stupid. I don't care if the undead zombie guy that can come up back from the dead is showing up to work on time. And the only reason that we know that he's going to be on time is when he shows up for the main event. Otherwise, we wouldn't know anyway. So this is just nothing that they're filling time with.
Yeah, it's worse than Monday when they had him leave, pretend like he wasn't going to be there, and then he ended up being there. It's like, why do we care about this? Like,
we
honestly,
already know that he's not trusting of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Austin stunned him the last time we saw him. Why do we need to do this? This is nothing.
I felt like this was just a reason, and it's not a good one, but just to get Vince on camera later to explain something, or I don't know, because I actually
like the other reason they got him on camera better, like for his story than this one, to be honest.
Oh yeah, sure. The other one, yes. I'm sorry, I was like, wait, what? Okay.
Because if they needed him to be more of a heel, he does it tonight.
yes.
Up next is Farouk and Too Cold Scorpio taking on Terry Funk and Bradshaw. Now, Farouk and Scorpio have teamed together twice now, and they're undefeated at this point. Terry Funk and Bradshaw have teamed together. Let me count here: 1, 2, 3, 0 times, and this made no sense. But beforehand, we find out that they're not ever going to team again because Terry Funk is taking some time off after this, and Bradshaw is apparently just being notified of that live during this interview, and is very unhappy about it to the point he basically mean mugs Terry Funk all the way down to the ring before this. The other thing, we've gotten zero explanation as to why Too Cold Scorpio and Terry Funk are not teaming together anymore.
This whole thing knocked it down a letter grade for me.
Agreed. Yeah.
I don't know. Like you said, they were Terry Funk and Too Cold Scorpio were a tag team, and I noticed that they weren't teaming in the last month. But it's like, who cares? But now, what they're going against each other, like I don't know.
And Bradshaw was helping Taka with Kai and Tai. There's been no blow off to that.
Yes, they haven't even teamed yet. They're about to team for the first and last time, and Bradshaw is so pissed that you're going to take time off. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's like, what do you care? You've been teaming with every other person. Like,
yeah. You didn't know you were in this tag team until 4 minutes ago.
Yeah. Your best and future tag team partner standing across the ring from you.
Right.
Which I thought was going to be the setup for the Apocalypse or the Acolytes. But it I don't know.
No, that would just make way too much sense, Mike. I mean, they teased that Bradshaw heel turn throughout all of this. I mean, he goes, Terry Funk goes to kick out, and Bradshaw goes to break it up. Even though Terry Funk kicks out, Bradshaw kicks him in the sternum, making it look like he was going after Scorpio. Nobody cares about this match. I mean, like that was kind of the thing with Val Venis and Jeff Jarrett. This crowd really didn't care about that match because they didn't even know what was happening.
Right.
They clearly didn't care about this, and the wrestling in the ring wasn't good enough to engage them. Obviously Too Cold Scorpio has the following in ECW. ECW is a long way from the West Coast where we are tonight in Fresno. Nobody knows what Farouk is supposed to be at this point. He's changed his gear again. And then Bradshaw has just been, I mean, last time we saw him, he got beat down by Kai and Tai.
He's like more evil Yosemite Sam. Like, I don't know. Like, he's been mean mugging Terry Funk the whole time out there. And then he botched that breakup so bad in the match where he got out like. Sorry.
So I think he was supposed to, though.
Oh,
I think it was supposed to look like an accident, and then he's supposed to kick him on purpose.
Gotcha.
I'm hoping, because otherwise it was just terrible.
Right.
But listen, the crowd didn't make any bones about it either. They were chanting "boring" so loud. Jim Ross actually even interjects and tells people, like, you can't. It's inaudible. Like, you could tell what people are saying.
Yes.
And he just tells the crowd's not really feeling this either. And Too Cold Scorpio hits a 450 splash, which, by the way, is not something that's being done on a regular basis back in 1998. You could have heard a church mouse fart in the crowd when he hit it.
Yeah, I mean I don't know about you, but I mean that's one of the reasons why Jeff Hardy was one of my favorites, is he did a singular flip.
Yeah, and this guy does 2 rotations. Yeah. But the faces win, and Bradshaw beats down Terry Funk afterwards, because of course he does. Then Scorpio runs back out to save his former partner that isn't his partner for any reason. And I mean, honestly, the one saving grace this entire match is Bradshaw hits the lariat on the outside. Too Cold Scorpio does an inside out flip to sell it.
That's beautiful.
and it looked great. But listen, Bradshaw's still in the brawl for all. That gets mentioned 0 times at this point. He just turned heel, and nobody cares about it. Farouk and Too Cold Scorpio are undefeated as a tag team, and that didn't get brought up once during this match. All that we talked about on commentary throughout this entire thing is how punctual the Undertaker usually is when he shows up to work. He's a guy that's a living dead dude. Nobody cares when he gets to work.
Hey, but for 15 years, he has never been late. I mean,
cool.
This is a big deal.
Fantastic.
I am with you. And like I said, I thought this would have been a perfect time to put the accolades together because acolytes together. Why can't I say that?
Yeah, it would have given you something.
Right. It's just like, we're two disgruntled guys that were passed around in different tag teams. Easy peasy. No, let's just... I don't know, but it was a beautiful lariat to Too Cool Scorpio.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy is we're still 6 months away from that.
6 months? This isn't even like a...
we're still 6 months away from joining up as the
breadcrumbs. Okay, so this just completely made zero.
Yeah. Listen, I'd love to help you get there, buddy, but we're a half a year away from that. Because Ministry Undertaker also debuts in January. It's July.
His music, though.
We're going to get there. There's a reason I'm telling you. Somehow it got worse. Speaking of knocking down letter grades, we get Mark Henry versus Vader next. And listen, I was genuinely, go back and rewatch, I think it was episode 38, 28, where they kind of teased this feud. I was legitimately excited about this because these are two big guys that can work. And I mean, Mark Henry is still green as grass at this time and still very new to the nation. And honestly, the nation's theme music might have been the only highlight of this match, right? Because Mark is still very green behind the ears, and Vader is clearly lost all of his confidence. I mean, we're 2 years removed away from him headlining SummerSlam with Shawn Michaels, and this is the stuff he's doing now. And he was clearly asked to lead this match. You can hear Vader audibly talking in this match, trying to get Mark Henry through it. Whether it be an Irish whip or a throw into the corner or a lift for a power slam. I counted 13 botches in this 4.5-minute match.
Yeah, that's it. If it was a brief match, but it did not feel brief.
Yeah.
Man.
So those guys have probably felt like 2 hours.
Right. And you really feel for them because those two better guys than Mark and Leon. But
yeah,
I don't know. They didn't gel well. I don't know if it's just Vader feels like he's been a step off for months. Henry, like we said, really fresh. It's at least it was on Fully Loaded and not like a major pay-per-views like SummerSlam. Yeah. We're just trying to do our best to make Mark look like the new big. Oh my gosh, big man.
Yeah. Listen, we let him kick out of a Vader splat, not a Vader bomb, but a mid-rope splash, which we've seen 3 other guys kick out of. So maybe it's not that big of a deal. He hits a power slam that looked good. He hits like an Ultimate Warrior style splash and picks up the win.
Yeah,
I don't know where either of these guys go from here.
It was really abrupt too. Like the crowd kind of like they kind of popped as in oh, it's over.
Yeah, thank God. It's almost like if people celebrate at the end of Old Yellers. That's what it felt like.
Oh God,
Mankind and Kane come out for a promo next, and I never thought I would celebrate a promo on a pay-per-view, but here I am doing it. Yes. But they come out, and you won't believe what they talk about: the Undertaker not being here. This is now 1 hour into this. We've talked about it for 45 straight minutes.
Yeah.
Paul Bear says that the reason that the Undertaker's not here is because he doesn't want to fight his little brother, despite him fighting his little brother basically every month for the last 12 months.
Has beaten them 2 out of the 3 times they fought.
3 out of 4. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
And then that he wants to stay as fresh as he can for his SummerSlam Championship matchup, which we could have just went with that. It's fine.
Yeah.
The New Age Outlaws come out, and they say that Kane and Mankind seem very sure the Undertaker's not going to show up, so they should just honor a rematch with them tomorrow night on Raw. I don't know why they wouldn't challenge them tonight if their challengers weren't going to be there, but I guess to keep selling pay-per-views as the show's going on, I don't know. The Outlaws don't give them a chance to respond, and they just jump Kane and Mankind. That's the end of this segment, which how much time did we need to fill in this pay-per-view?
I mean, it definitely was not needed. I was happy in a sense, though, that they kept the Outlaws out there and knowing that they're still wanting to be in the title picture because the work they've been doing is great. So I'm just glad they're just not being tossed to the back of DX, basically.
Yeah. Speaking of guys that are being tossed to the back of things, LOD and DOA are next. And I don't know how much time I want to focus on this. I mean, Paul Ellering is back out with with DOA here.
Who looked jacked.
Yeah, by the way, yeah. Congrats, Paul, on that.
That was the highlight.
But we're doing this thing where if you know what's happening, I'm sorry if you don't. We're going to focus on Hawk's real-life alcoholism as a problem in LOD. He showed up late to the tag team match on Monday. He is the focal point of this match where he gets the hot tag and comes off very strong until he doesn't. And then for the 7th time in 6 months, LOD falls for the Twin Magic switch-out of the DOA, and the Disciples of Apocalypse get the win. Okay. It's just going to get worse before it gets better.
Man, there's a match later on in the show we'll talk about that is really long. This one felt like on par with it, and it was not even half the time.
and when Vince comes out, we're going to get to it in a second, but Vince comes out and cuts a promo and just basically shits all over the Legion of Doom. Like, This is clearly a personal vendetta, and it's making the LOD look bad, but I don't think Vince in real time realized how bad this was making him look too. Like,
it feels like that's always been his MO. If you got over not under his creation, like he didn't want to treat you that well. I mean, Dusty, the Legion of Doom. I mean, he did crown some people champions like Goldberg, but I mean, that first run, was that really good?
Sure.
It just feels like that's been kind of his thing. I don't know.
As I mentioned, the owner of the company comes out next, and he mentions how bad the LOD looks, but he says he's not here to evaluate matches, even though he just evaluates the one that happened. He says that fans should not be mad at him if the Undertaker doesn't show up. So now we're an hour and 15 into talking about this, because he pulls out the local newspaper and reads verbatim an ad that he actually ran in Fresno the day before, that the card is subject to change, and it is up to the promoter to change out that wrestler that can't appear with a wrestler of their choosing. I thought it was interesting that he kept using the word wrestler here, because we know how much Vince McMahon hates that word.
Yes.
But he says that he's already picked Stone Cold Steve Austin's new partner tonight if the Undertaker does not show up, and here he is. And it's the Brooklyn Brawler. And this got a legit pop out of me, because anytime Stephen Lombardi shows up on my TV, I love it. I think he is the job guy of all job guys of all time. I love the Brooklyn Brawler. I thought this was fantastic. But Mike, I wanted to go down a wormhole for a second, because man, how much different would Stone Cold Steve Austin's career look if they went from having him as the WWF champion to in a legit tag team with the Brooklyn Brawler following Fully Loaded in 1998? We may be reviewing Monday Nitro instead of Monday Night Raw at this point.
Maybe the Brooklyn Brawler could have came back and fought Kevin Owens at Starrcade in 2022.
There you go. This is great. I mean, Brawler even got a little bit of a pop from the crowd. I popped. I thought this was fantastic. I don't think it achieved what Vince wanted it to, but it got a laugh out of me.
Yes. I didn't really think we needed either promo tonight, but this one was actually pretty humorous. So, I liked it better than most of the matches we've seen so far. So
I need to get a Brooklyn Brawler T-shirt. That's all I took away from this.
Yes.
I've been talking highly about this next match and the ability to rewatch it for a couple of weeks now. It's the dungeon match that happens in Calgary and legitimately in the Hart home of Stu and Helen Hart in the basement. And it's Owen Hart taking on Ken Shamrock with Dan Severn as the special guest referee. Now, on paper and watching this back, like, this is terrible. It's not good unless you're a wrestling fan, and this was fantastic. I mean, just knowing that this match, I don't know if we get the Hardy Compound or the Firefly Funhouse or anything like that without this match. This was like, there's so much wrestling lore, and I even remember this as a 10-year-old in 98. Getting the chance to see the inside of the Hart Dungeon on camera was cool enough for me to want to buy this pay-per-view, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, man, I honestly did not remember this one. I remember the Lion's Den, but I did not remember the dungeon match. And oh man, other than the finish, I love this match. This was pro wrestling at its finest.
Yeah, they leaned all the way into the BS, and they made the best of it they could. I mean, the walls were slatted with everybody's grandmother's downstairs basement wood that you can remember from the 1980s, 1990s.
Shamrock's face.
Yeah, and every time they hit it, like, they used it as like almost like you would protect the mat. Like they would slap the wall and all that. And Listen, they went full bore on this. They used dumbbells, they used weights. Ken Shamrock's head got put through the ceiling, which is hilarious because if you look next to where his head goes through, clearly like Bret Hart and Stu Hart's and other people's heads have just been put through that ceiling a number of times. Ken Shamrock used the water pipes above the mats to get a Hurricane Rana in one time.
Like, the hip toss into the pipe.
Yeah, they used as many gimmicks as they possibly could in this. And somehow the worst gimmick was the end of the match.
Well, and I feel bad about that because that did have the dumbbell spot. My gripe about it was Severin's horrible acting.
Yeah, I just can't imagine why it didn't work out for Dan Severn in the WWF. Like the more this goes on, Shamrock accidentally kicks Dan Severn, and Owen Hart hits Ken Shamrock in the back of the head with a dumbbell. And then locks in the worst crossface of all time, and then uses Ken Shamrock's hand to tap out, and then celebrates like he just won the Stanley Cup. This is why we're wrestling fans, folks.
Yes,
nonsense like this. This was great.
Okay, even the bullshit crossface and making him tap, I'm fine with that. It's like, why couldn't we just had a regular ref for this one?
What was Mike Chioda not free to go to? Maybe Mike Chioda has too many DUIs, not that I know of, but I just thinking reasons why you couldn't get into Canada.
Yes, and it was protected, but that dumbbell, it just looked like something like Owen would do to his older brothers, like to try to win.
It's one thing to take this legit octagon fighter and do this. Right. I don't know how many guys other than Owen Hart could have pulled this off, though, where it's clearly a schmoz, but done in a professional wrestling way, I guess. I don't know.
And, like, if you've ever wrestled with, like, a brother or a cousin or something in a basement.
This is what it looks like.
And Ken Shamrock's entrance at the top, of the stairs, like, do you ever just think, like, I'm going down?
The only thing that would have made this better is if, like, Helen Hart was standing behind him with, like, sparklers or something. I don't know. I don't know what. I guess he's trying to be as serious as he possibly can, but kind of didn't help, man. I'm sorry.
Right. Oh, man. So I'm not going to lie. This was my match of the night.
Oh, it was awesome. It was so bad. It was great.
Yes.
What was, the just probably everybody else's match of the night came up next. It's the 2 out of 3 falls match between The Rock and Triple H. And I'm going to spoil the end of this match because I don't mind time limit draws if they're an hour and it's for one fall or an Iron Man match.
Thank you.
This goes to a time limit draw at a half hour. I would be even more upset about that if this match wasn't awesome. And but this match was incredible. It's specifically the first fall of it because they could have just done the first half hour with this one fall and given you a winner.
Right. Oh yeah, like that's all they needed to do.
Because my biggest problem with the whole thing is 3 of the last 4 Big 4 pay-per-views, The Rock has either cheated to win or actually lost, and the decision was turned over.
Right.
And we get more of that essentially here because before the first fall, we get China interfering, we get ring steps, we get chokes with electrical cords, we get Mark Henry with a splash on the outside, a title belt shot, and that's 12 minutes of this match.
Yes.
The Godfather shows up, and the Outlaws come out and jump him to stop him. I don't know where they were to stop Mark Henry, but I guess they didn't get the memo.
Henry's too fast.
Yeah. The Rock distracts the ref, and D'Lo shows up, and Hunter's able to fight him off. But that's not enough of a distraction. But the Rock gets a rock bottom, and the Rock pulls off pin the first pinfall.
Yes. And
I thought there was a legit shot. They were only going to give us 2 falls. The Rock was going to win both of them. Even that was a better option, in my opinion.
I thought neither of them were going to get a fall. Honestly, when I heard them announce with a 30-minute time limit, I said, "Son of a bitch!" I was like, "They're gonna go. They're gonna go the whole 30 minutes." And
I have a confession to make. I've never listened to announcers saying how much time the time limit is until tonight. But I like the 1-minute rest period in this because it makes it more realistic too. So after the first fall, there was a 1-minute rest period for the winner and the loser of the first fall to recollect their thoughts, and Hunter's able to get back up, and because we're obviously a long ways away from this being finished if you're paying attention. But the match starts back up, and we go basically on the outside and kind of restart this where we left off at in the first fall, which I thought was a really good idea. But we get a Spanish announce table spot here. We get a double clothesline spot that leaves both men laying. D'Lo comes back out, and Chyna stops him, which also didn't make sense because she's been out here this entire time and didn't stop him the first time. But Hunter ducks The Rock going for a clothesline. He knocks down Mike Chioda, who's taken 3 ref bumps in the last 4 weeks, by the way. This allows Chyna to come in the ring and low blow The Rock and then DDT him on the chair. And she might have got the pop of the night with this DDT, man. People were eating this alive.
Yeah, even the low blow, like as soon as it hit, the crowd it felt like a gunshot of just crowd reaction. And I liked her kind of smirk right before she got into the ring too. It's like you can tell that she's feeling more comfortable with her, like, and confident out there with her popularity.
Yeah, X-Pac had also come out and hit an X Factor after the ref went down as well. This allows Hunter to pick up the second fall. And then after the second fall is announced, we get a 1 minute break. As the 1 minute is ending, Howard Finkel lets us know there's 2 minutes left in the match. As soon as that minute break is up, The Rock is still laying down. Hunter jumps on him to make another cover, but Mike Chioda is still recovering, despite just counting the 3 second count. A minute and a half. But Earl Hebner runs down. The Rock kicks out. Howard Finkel is updating us with 1 minute left. So, I mean, the intensity just gets picked up here. They packed as much as they could in this 120 seconds that they did basically the whole first 2 minutes. I thought it was incredible.
Man, like, if there was, I don't know. I feel like it's really hard to say that these two were wrestling soulmates with, Stone Cold being out there for Rock and honestly for Triple H too, and John for Triple H. But man, like, you forget like the chemistry that these two have, and this is probably still one of their weaker matches, and it's a good match, like, still. Yeah,
Hunter hits a pedigree, and it looks like he's going to win and become the Intercontinental Champion, but time runs out. The Nation runs down, DX runs down. There's this awesome slide in from Billy Gunn, where he almost slides all the way the length of the ring. We get another big pull apart again. So this match and this feud is nowhere near done.
Yes. Man, I feel like Billy is trying to make a goal of, like, trying to get on the other side of the ring, because he's always just
I don't think he is, because I think he could if he really wanted to.
That's true. Okay, maybe as far as even as humanly possible, but like I agree with you. We should have just gave The Rock the win here, especially what's coming down the pipe here. I feel like he could have used it here, even if it was cheap.
Yeah, and like, I guess there's something to the fact he escaped, right? I guess there's something you can spin off of that.
Sure.
But it didn't feel like enough, in my opinion. What felt like too much was what we get next, and it's not Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor. It's the bikini contest. And we get a tale of a tape before this, and listen, this is cheesy and stupid because we get cup sizes and butt sizes and other measurements here. We don't do this for actual fights or wrestling matches, so why are we doing tale of tapes here for this?
Because boobs, Jimmy. Because boobs.
1998, folks, I guess.
Hey, because if you turn it sideways, looks like boobs.
Yeah. Fair enough. We get Dustin Runnels coming down, and he's still doing his born-again Christian gimmick, and says that the Messiah is coming back and that everybody that is in attendance that's worshiping these two idols we're about to see will have repents to pay, and then he just goes away. So I guess we did that and got Dustin a payday, so that's fine.
I feel like that is like a personal thing, or an agenda Vince is trying to get out there, is like at the people that complain about the product because of that. It's like
100%.
Let's put the religious thing out there right before our bikini contest. Yeah.
Well, Marvelous Mark comes down with Jacqueline next to him, and then Sable comes out wearing a Sable Bomb t-shirt. And keep in mind, we opened up the show with previewing how good this was going to be. But Jacqueline grabbed all the headlines nationally, and for all the people you were just referencing to have more cannon fodder, because she has a legit nip slip during this bikini contest, because she is shaking what her mama gave her, and her left boob pops out throughout this. We're not going to show any of the highlights here because we like our spot on YouTube and would like to come back next week. But the crowd was showing some love for Miss Jackie here.
Yeah, and this is just a sneak preview because we get two later on. I believe it's in the next year, or I don't know.
It's in the next 6 months.
It's in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. So unfortunately, I don't know if the one that's coming in a few months seemed on purpose. And I'm wondering if this was kind of
well, it's already happened with Sable once.
Right, but I was thinking of maybe this was the idea from Vince, is like maybe we could get away with it. I don't know.
It is pay-per-view.
Yeah, but God bless Jackie and trying to just give it her all and get into it. But it's like, I don't know. It's 1998, so it seems like it doesn't really matter.
She was never like portrayed as the beautiful valet. And I think that was a disservice to her. I think she's obviously an incredible body here and a beautiful woman, and almost stole the spotlight until Sable showed up.
I mean, honestly, other than handprints, like how else are you going to beat that? I mean, I don't
fair
know.
Enough. Some would argue the handprints didn't do it, and we're getting there. But Sable removes her shirt, and she has a very conservative top on for a bikini contest, specifically compared to what Jackie's wearing. And says that Mr. McMahon, who, if you remember, if you're following along the storyline, brought her back and rehired her after her husband beat her at the second to last pay-per-view and cost her job, asked her to be more conservative, and this is her approach to conservativeness, and this is what she thinks of being conservative, and rips the top off, and as Mike just alluded to, the only thing covering her up is handprints on her adjustable cups that they're referred to in the tail of the take.
Yes.
And this is one of the most featured moments in the history of the Attitude Era. This has probably been rewound more times on cable boxes than in just about any other moment in wrestling history.
That image and Jerry doing the bouncing up and down with his feet and with his mouth wide open, even though he had seen it earlier in the day. I mean,
I think this was alluding to this isn't what Jerry saw, and it was even better. I think that's the story they were trying to tell there.
Fair enough. Okay.
But Sable, keep in mind, gets announced as the winner, but Vince McMahon comes out. We talked about him being an even bigger heel by the end of this night. This is how he does it. He comes out, throws his jacket over Sable, and makes her leave the ring and go to the back. She's announced as the winner, and that's going to be important for the next episode of Raw.
Yes.
That leads us to the main event. It is the Tag Team Championships on the line as we find out in the bikini contest, the Undertaker has shown up and is in attendance now. He apparently didn't want to miss the bikini contest.
What a sentence! As we found out in the bikini contest, Undertaker is on time to work.
Sorry. I guess apparently he wanted to see the handprints himself.
And I didn't want to have lack of anything to say, but it's like, I don't know. Would you want me to give like two stars? For that bikini contest? Like,
it was fine. There was 2 of something out there.
It did what it needed to do, I guess.
And then some. But we get to the main event, and Kane and Mankind come down first. The Undertaker comes out before Austin, which is funny because in kayfabe, he's only been there for about 7 minutes.
Right.
And he walked in T-shirt and jeans and a bandana, and now he's already in full Undertaker regale. But as you mentioned, but as you mentioned, he debuts the Ministry-esque hard rock themed entrance music here. And listen, before they add all the tongues and all that, this sounded awesome.
Yeah. I feel like they could have just, I don't know, kept him as like a badass, like guy.
An American badass?
Yeah. Huh? But I don't know. It sounded good, but yeah, they, in about a year's time, less than a year's time, they do get a bit kooky with that shit too.
Yeah, for sure. Austin comes out and the crowd pops. I mean, they're still red hot from the bikini contest, but like, they were ready to see the rattlesnake, and he delivers here. And they jump to start this thing right away. I thought it was the right thing. Mankind and Kane come up and kind of jump the challengers as they have kind of a stare down in the entryway, because we're still teasing. Can Austin trust the Undertaker? Is he working with Kane, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? But Austin takes out Kane. Taker takes out Mankind. They make their way down to the ring. Austin starts it off, and he gives a middle finger to the Undertaker as he's standing on the outside. But the Undertaker no-sells him, doesn't react, doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything. And Austin takes on Kane, takes on Mankind, takes them both to the outside, get a double headbutt spot on the outside. And the Undertaker is just not even paying attention to what's going on. This is great storytelling.
Yeah, for this basically being a filler pay-per-view and this being a filler match for their feud for SummerSlam, man, they really have done a good job at making you invested in them. Like it started as, respectful challengers to starting to get a little bit of bitter rivalry going on here, and I've been enjoying it as they're going full tilt, and everybody in the match is a top tier guy. So
yeah, it does a great job telling the story too.
Yes.
Austin kind of takes Kane down and goes to tag in the Undertaker, who reluctantly takes the tag, gets in and gets Kane, and just starts going to town on his little brother. And so commentators start saying, well, maybe we're reading too much into this. Maybe the Undertaker isn't working with Kane. But they're going to continue to tell that story throughout this match, and he does a couple of John Cena-esque shoulder tackles,
Yes.
not quite full leaving his feet, but gets Kane off his feet, and he gives the middle finger to Stone Cold Steve Austin here. I couldn't imagine the Undertaker, who was building Kamala's casket, doing something like this. This is pretty cool to talk about.
Yes, and it works perfectly if it was in character, but I think it actually did crack Steve because
for sure
starts laughing and walking down the ropes. The commentators even call it out. It's like Steve got a smirk out of that, or got a kick out of that one, or
and he's clearly enjoying it, right? I mean, you can tell these guys enjoyed working. We've seen the Broken Skull sessions and stuff. Them talking about working together, they clearly loved it. But the thing I loved about Kane and Mankind being on the other side of the ring is those are two guys. Two of very few that have been able to put the Undertaker in a precarious spot and actually kind of make him give a reason to feel like he's in danger and build empathy for him, because that's what happens here. Listen, if you're going to build a tag to anybody in 1998 to be as hot as it possibly can, it's probably the Rattlesnake. There aren't too many other guys even remotely close to that conversation. But Kane kind of gets the better of the Undertaker. Mankind gets in. They do a really good job of cutting off the ring. Brother fight to the outside, and Foley goes for an elbow. This is 5 weeks removed from the Hell in the Cell spot, and Austin chucks Mankind off the side of the ring, and he flies through the Spanish announce table.
My hip hurts so bad watching that.
I can't. 30 years later, man, I just still can't believe this guy's doing this.
No, and like you said, a month later, it's like you wouldn't catch me taking that spot if I'd never taken the Hell in a Cell.
A year later, yeah. But they work their way back into the ring, and Kane hits Taker in the back and almost forces the tag, almost reluctantly, like the Undertaker didn't want to fight his brother. But he gets the tag back in, and we see Austin come in and get the pop that you'd expect in this hot tag spot, right? And comes in and starts cleaning house. But then we kind of get the beat down on Austin and kind of selling to him to make the hot tag back to the Undertaker. So we're still feeding the Deadman as this full-fledged babyface that people should be cheering for. I love this aspect of it.
Yeah, and they did a really good job at telling you that, this is basically anybody's game at SummerSlam between these two guys. Like, we built Austin for the hot tag, which is usually just for the one guy, but we get two in this instance, which we have here and there, depending on who's across the ring. But, Undertaker getting it too, it's because, he's been there, over or almost 10 years at this point and has built a name too. So he's just as big as Steve Austin in their eyes.
All four guys make their way into the ring, and Foley goes to throw a chair to Kane, but Austin intercepts it. And here's the meat and potatoes of the night, because all four guys are in there. Austin just absolutely wails Kane right in the face. I mean, it kind of helps that he has a mask on.
Yes.
But it also allows Austin Foley to get in the ring, and then a double lariat happens. And Kane goes to get tagged in, and Kane knocks the Undertaker off the apron, and he chokeslams Austin, sets up a tombstone. Because, listen, we've already teased a tag team championship match with the Outlaws tomorrow, so the tag champs have to win, right? Well, Austin slides off his shoulder, hits a stunner, goes to the tag. The Undertaker pulls his hand back, and the crowd starts booing uncontrollably. So the Deadman sticks his hand back out there and gets the tag in, and the crowd goes nuts. This was fantastic.
Man, it felt like it was on par with an Austin pop, at least from this crowd, anyways. Because and they did come out of their seats for it, and Taker's kind of low key one of the masters of the hot tag.
Well, he gets it here. He comes in, he clears house, he chokeslams Kane, chokeslams Mankind, tombstones Kane, gives him the Shakespeare and the pin. Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Undertaker are the tag team champions, despite Austin being the champion and the Undertaker being the number one contender.
Very weird. Yeah, he's like, these are mine because I did it all by myself.
Yeah, the Undertaker takes both belts and leaves, and Austin is almost like you can even hear the crowd wanting it to happen. The Undertaker come back and get a celebration. They don't get it here. The Undertaker takes both championships and leaves, and then we fade to black.
That's what it kind of seemed like, though. Like he's like, damn it, and just quickly reached over. I'll take it from here. Hit the tag. 1, 2, 3. I took these guys down 1, 2, 3, and took the belts out of there. I mean, what I was alluding to earlier is the hot tag that has surfaced to the YouTube, by the way, which
with him storming up and down
with the water like all over the place. I kind of wish he did it here, but just the reluctant reach over was good enough, I guess.
Taker said the reason that he did it in that event was because it was a house show and there weren't cameras around.
Sure.
Yeah, but there was a bunch for this one.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and grade it, Mike. How do you grade Fully Loaded 1998?
I like the main event, and I love the dungeon match. The 2 out of 3 falls match is pretty good, but unfortunately, there's a lot of weak sauce in this match or in this show. So I'm gonna give it a C.
Yeah, I gave it a C+ for the same exact reason. I mean, the LOD DOA stuff is just a drag, and it's just going to continue to be. The Mark Henry Vader match is one of the worst of all time. Right. D'Lo and X-Pac tried saving it. Jeff Jarrett and Val Venis saved it. Anytime you get the Undertaker, Mankind, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kane in a main event, it's going to be pretty good. But it was a C-level pay-per-view, so that's why I'm going to give it a C+. That's going to do it for us here on Analyzing Attitude. If you liked what you heard, liked what you saw, give us an oh, hell yeah down in the comments below.
Oh, hell yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.